So who is going to be the first one? Someone's going to put their hand up. Don't be scared, John.
Go on, I'll ask this question.
Go on then. Far away.
Who
Who is this to? The management team?
No, to the management. Yeah,
Right.
hi guys.
Hi,
I think we all want to win the league, we all want to get promoted, but I think more than anything, us fans want to see some exciting football up there. The last 2 seasons have been absolutely dire. Even when we've been winning games, we've been winning ugly. I can't remember one game in 2 seasons where we played the team off the field. I just wondered what style of football you're looking to play this year.
Okay, John, I mean, obviously we're just coming in and we're putting a team together. First of all, welcome everybody tonight. Thanks for coming. Can you hear me speaking all right? Is it okay? Is it okay sitting down? Or do you want to stand up?
understand you.
Can you understand?
Yes.
I thought I'd have lost my accent within here 28 years, but I'm not that. But anyway, look, we'll just come in. We're almost putting a brand new team together. With that fact, obviously we will be wanting to play attacking football, we want to play exciting football, but it's going to take a little bit of time for us to get whoever we sign or whoever we get in. It's going to take that little bit of time just to get a bit of a pattern of play going. So we've got to work hard on that, and obviously to try and make an impact in the league, we've got to do that. Get off the ground, not running, but it's not going to be quite as easy as that. It will take a little bit of time, but hopefully we can play entertaining football. We've got a beautiful pitch out there, which I hear over the last couple of years has been a problem because a lot of the teams have came here and thought, wow, what a pitch this is, and it opens up their eyes when they come through the gate. So first of all, you've got to win that battle and stop them from playing their football. But hopefully that we can bring attacking football. We're working hard to put a team together that can produce that. What I would like to do is play with 2 strikers if we can. There'll be occasions where we can't, but we would like to play with 2 strikers, good wide players, attacking wide players that can get good ball into the box, but also attacking wide players that can come in off the lines, and not stick out on the lines. Like
I think last year we noticed a lot of clubs that came here, the likes of Mercer and folks that just full of pace.
That's a good footballing side. Mercenaries probably would have been the best footballing side.
Yeah, they were fantastic, but they were just full of pace and we just couldn't cope with the pace.
Pace and energy, I think that's a big thing in non-league football now, to do anything. I think some of the players that we've signed, you see, are energetic. In the training sessions we've had so far, there's been a lot of energy in the training sessions. We've worked really hard on those. Some of the guys here, sitting here, have been watching the training sessions and we've been working really hard, and we're seeing a lot of energy through, especially some of the young boys. I think the boys that we've signed, it's not an old age group. We've went for a younger age group, and if we can keep it that way, we'll keep it that way. We want a bit of experience aside, but we do want to lead the youth through the side and work youth players up through the system. And we will work hard to get the best local players in that we can.
Could I ask on the subject of training? That was an issue last season when it was a question of whether the players were training on pilot field or what was to be done, and it became a little bit of a contentious issue. I appreciate your thoughts on what's the ideal for training that you'd like to see and how you're actually going to organise it.
Well, the training will be 2 nights a week. I think when you're part-time, to come in 3 nights a week is really difficult. In terms of commitment, and so in natural terms, all non-league clubs over the years are 2 nights a week. A lot of the clubs are moving away. The ones that are moving on into Conference South football, Conference Premier, are going 3 mornings a week and trying to because you get more quality out of your players during the day, I believe, than you do at night. Sometimes at night, when you get them coming in after a hard day's work, and you've got them at the end of the day when they're grumpy, they're tired, their concentration levels are dropping. But we are a non-league club. We are at the status we are. At Ryman South level, we'll be 2 nights a week. I think last year, to be fair to the managers, I don't think they were supported in getting a training facility, or maybe they never worked hard enough to find the training facility themselves. I don't know. We've secured Hillcrest School, so we will be training that'll be every Thursday evening. We've tied up through William Parker School with the academy, and we've got a facility, an indoor facility in there, also on a Thursday evening. So that will allow the development squad and the first team to train on a Thursday night, 2 different venues, and we may even swap around. A lot of our home games will be on a Tuesday night. We've agreed with the groundsman that we can train here 2 nights in the month on a Tuesday night, and the 2 nights that we don't train here, if we've not got games, then we will be using the indoor facility at William Parker, or we will find a facility indoors. So we will train Tuesday, Thursday. No, there's no any contention, there's nothing about it. We're playing a Tuesday night, but we'll only train once on a Thursday. If we've not got a game, we will just train 2 nights a week. And there won't be any no training, there won't be any nights off. It'll be important that the boys train just for team spirit and keeping the fitness tank going.
Good, that sounds very positive.
Pre-season will come in Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday. So we've been working 3 times a week through pre-season. Won't be any change to that at all. At least the boys know exactly where they stand. We won't be changing in the evenings. We won't be cancelling any training through the winter. If they don't play on a Saturday, they'll come in and train on a Saturday. So, the season starts now and they'll be in every night.
Anybody else?
Yep,
Question, have
Dave.
they? Right.
Can you tell us more about Jack Harris? What type of striker he is?
Jack Harris is he's 21 guys, 22. He started off at Tunbridge Wells. He was, I think, their top goal scorer when they got to the FA Vase final. A lot of clubs were looking at him then. I had him highlighted to me by Barry Lloyd, who is the ex-Brighton manager. He's one of their chief scouts. He highlighted him to us then. Burnley did as well, highlighted him to Gary. He then got his move to Maidstone. Did well for him to start with, then he picked up an injury, and then obviously Maidstone were flying, and he found it hard to get him back in the side. He went on loan to Faversham last season. I think he played against Hughes a couple of times. I think he scored 17 or 18 league goals last season for them. He's a very willing young man. He's got a good stature about him, and I think he'd be a major asset to us. But he's a really, really good lad. He's not missed a training session. I think you're all warm to him automatically.
What type of striker is he? Is he a sort of like poacher, a target man?
I
Or?
wouldn't say he's a poacher because he's got some. He's big. I think he's probably a bit of both. But
Yeah.
I would say you'll probably have someone playing off him more, Gus, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he's a big lad. He can hold the ball up.
Yeah.
You'll see him, he's 6 foot, so he's a big tall lad. He's good. For me, I still think he's got to get a little bit sharper. I think he's one that's got to keep working on his fitness. You've got to keep him sharp. If you're going to get the best out, you've got to keep him sharp and fit. Danny said he scored 18 goals for Faversham, but I think he had about 6 weeks out with an injury last year. So I think in the total, though, I think he scored more in the cups. But I think there were 16 or 17 league goals. He's always scored goals. We've noticed it in training when we've been doing a little games at the end. His finishing has been superb. He's been clinical. We've got expectations that Jack will score a minimum of 20 goals for us this year. Hopefully more.
We haven't mentioned we've signed.
Have you got a left back?
Yeah.
He isn't any good, but we got one.
We'll take it.
Signed a left back called Alfie Hall. Alfie Hall.
Okay.
And he played in the Kent League last year. He played for Hillsborough. He's a boy that's been recommended in the Kent area to go and play higher. He wants to play higher. He's never had the opportunity to play higher. He was in training with Tunbridge Angels. We had heard about him, so we invited him down, and he totally impressed us through the first day he came in. So, we've signed Alfie just on what we've seen in pre-season, and hopefully continue what he showed us in pre-season. He's a left back. He's small in stature,
Tenacious.
but he's tenacious.
Do you see Sam Crockwell as a left back or a more midfielder?
To be honest with you, again, we've not worked with Sam Crockwell, and it's quite difficult to say where you see them when you've not worked with the players. What we're told is he's not a left back.
He doesn't want to. I think what he struck to us, he doesn't want to play there. And I think if players don't want to play in a position, sometimes you have to make them. But I think he didn't seem happy to play there, did he?
So we've got options at left back. We've got
good options at right back.
We've got Sammy Cole as a left back or a left midfielder. For me and Danny, we would like to see Sammy Cole further up the pitch. We're just thinking the Ryman South, he'll be a player that can get his goals, playing from the left-hand side. As a left back, he scores. He'll score 5, 6, 7 goals. As a left midfielder, which I originally signed him when I signed him off of Rye for East Bombara, I signed him as a left winger basically, and maybe at Conference South it was too much for him, and we put him back into left back. But he's an attacking player, Sam Cole, and he can score goals. But we've got the options to use him at left back. So for instance, if we went away against a big tall side and playing away from home in the middle of Kent somewhere on a rough pitch, and we might want to defend that game and see it out, then we've got options to put Sam Cole in there. Another player that we've signed and we've not mentioned is a boy called Jerome Jaboda. We had Jerome at Lewis last year, and to be fair, he came in halfway through the season, never done fantastic, but there's something that we liked about him, and he wasn't quite right when he came in because he just moved down from the area. Jerome was a young lad that came through Little Town Football Club, and he served his apprenticeship with him. He just moved down to a little common area last year, and we brought him in for pre-season, and he never really had a pre-season last year, and I think it showed. But he's had a good pre-season with us, and he's another player that can play right back or left back. He's another full back that's tenacious, and again, he's got loads of energy.
I mean, based on that, who do you see the strongest teams in the division next season?
Anyone who finishes above Folkestone, I think, will
Really?
yeah. That's my own opinion. I don't know. You guys have seen. I was at Eastbourne Town for 2-3 seasons. I haven't seen this league for a couple of years. I've seen the odd games. Who do you guys think is the best teams? Most of them I know are the best footballing side.
Worthing.
Who would you guys say?
Worthing, maybe? They've made some good
I
signings.
think it's going to be difficult for Worthing because they've got young Garry Wilson is now their manager. They've got the plastic pitch, which I'm led to believe is got to bed in. But they play good football. But I think they may lack a bit of physicality, particularly away from home. They try and play in the right manner. Obviously, as I say, Folkestone.
Faversham, maybe?
Faversham. Well, they've lost Jack Harris. They've lost Jack Stanford.
True.
I think they may find it harder than perhaps last season.
Yeah, I think Folkestone, the signings that Folkestone's made, you would look at them and think they will be one of the biggest threats.
They will pay by a standard ordering on a
Do you have a sort of idea of what sort of crowds you want here? Is that relevant or break even? Is there a break even point? Or?
I must be honest, I didn't get involved with the budget because of Tony and Dave.
Oh, you just passed that.
I didn't actually want to get involved with the budget. I did when I was treasurer previously, but Tony and Dave.
We based it on crowd between 250 and 300.
Which I'm sure we over well over that. Actually.
What I can tell you, and a lot of you will remember that going back, way back, last time the Southern Division was won by Peter Sillitt's side. And I know times have changed, but in that season we went from getting 400 to after Christmas, we built from 400, but after Christmas, from Christmas on, we had, Tony back this up, we had crowds of 1,000, 1,200,
Do you think that's realistic?
and Gary will remember that time too. This town does have the potential to produce crowds if you've got a winning side. And every football club, it doesn't matter how the club is being run or what is going on with the club, the only thing that counts is what's going on with the grounds. Because that is what attracts the people.
One thing where we should get more income from this year is because we have got a main sponsor and 2 associate sponsors. It gives us a chance to get every match sponsored. Previous year, I can't remember how it was the last 3 years, Dave Walters done a raffle. And everybody won a prize, which was basically sponsoring a match. But because of the sponsorship we've got now, we've had people can come in and sponsor every match. So if anybody here knows of any firm, works for anyone who would be interested in sponsoring a match, just let me know, or when you know. Advantage you get so many guest tickets to come into the match. Also hospitality, so as well. We've got a couple of few people who are going to come on board, I think, with us on that. It'll be a nice bit of extra income.
And I think we know that a lot of it depends on what goes on the pitch. We all know that. But we also are very acutely aware that we have to do to bring people back, you know, to bring ourselves or put ourselves out in the community as a community club. And we started a bit of that last season. I know Barry and the management committee are doing a lot on this as well. It's about bringing schools in. It's about making our name known amongst businesses, giving them good, realistic sponsorship opportunities. And I think generally just reaching out to supporters again, where maybe in the past we haven't done it as well as we could have done. And I think that's very important that we, you know, as Tony said, there are only 3 senior clubs in the area, so we should take the lead in how to be a community club. And that's what we're going to be working at. And because that will bring people in.
It's worth adding that the local cup finals are coming back here as well.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Agreed on that. We have about 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave?
One other thing which Pat is in charge of is player sponsorship, which is £70. I think we've got about 5 or 6 spots already.
Actually, that's changed. We've got
Right.
another one tonight. We've already equalled last year's, so we've got 7 players sponsored, which is what we managed to hold last season. And I mean, for £70 you're going to get obviously a photo with the player, a chance to meet and have a drink with the player after the game, signed programme on match of your choice. Also, if you've got a business, you get your name in the programme under their picture. You can put your business's phone number in if you want to. And it's just another way that we wanted to add a few more benefits to it, and we'll still look at if there are any more benefits to doing that. Most people that have sponsored have said to me, well, actually, you know, I don't mind if I have a photo or not, I just want to get involved in some way that I can. And I'm very confident. I've had 2 people already say to me they'll see me tomorrow about sponsoring players, so that would bring us up to 9. I want to get every single player and the management team sponsored.
One thing I must say, Barry has been in charge of the getting the ground organised, and they have done a fantastic job.
I think they have.
I don't think the 2 main people are here tonight, actually. Andy, the 2 who have taken over as joint stadium managers, Andy and Wayne, I'm not sure if they're here, they have done a fantastic, along with some others, Roy, who was the ex-stadium manager, sitting in the corner there.
And that's how
Sorry. It's your colour shirt, Tom. That's Roy in his West Ham shirt. Yeah, they've done a really brilliant job, actually. I never think Barry admitted work wasn't going to get done.
No, I must admit, it was a hell of a list to do this
And
year.
even little Sarah over there's come up and done a bit of painting in the home dressing room.
Thanks, Sarah.
I was just waiting for the players to turn up. That's
They're going to inspect it tomorrow, Sarah.
They're all
No,
right.
they have done a brilliant job, actually. So very good. One thing you won't have tomorrow, unfortunately, is the top tee bar here. We had a bit of a water leak in there, which has caused some damage to the electricity. We have got some vans coming up tomorrow. We've got a burger van, which will obviously do teas and coffees, and we've also got an ice cream van. Yeah, they've got ice cream tomorrow then.
Garry, how easy was it to come back?
Obviously, it wasn't it? It was only, I'll say this honestly, and you might hear this cliche, it would have been the only club I would have come back and managed. I think it was coming to the end of my time. I've done it, as you know, for the last 20 odd years. I've been here 27 years. I enjoyed that little break I had there for 6 months. I would not have been tempted with another club to get back in, but Hastings was the only job that I would have come back to.
They weren't going to get involved in football at all?
I would have done something, maybe scouting or...
right.
But to be honest with you, I wasn't actively seeking another manager's job.
Right.
This is the only job that I would have come back to. I feel that it's the club that I travelled 500. I always come back to this 500 miles to come to this club, and I felt a little bit harshly treated when I left, and I was gutted when I left, and had a bit between my teeth. And this is a club I come back to, and this is a club I want to finish with.
Yeah.
I don't see myself going to another club after Hastings. I want to be successful here and then see where it takes us. But Hastings is my first club in England.
Yeah.
It'll be my last club.
Yeah.
Would you have come back if we got relegated?
It's a difficult one, I never really thought about that, to be honest. I'm glad you never get relegated. I was really pleased. I wasn't even thinking about the job. To be honest with you, I thought Nigel was going to be the manager here this year. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just willing for you to stay up at the end of the season. I just was desperate for Hastings as my club, not to go down. So I was really pleased that these guys got a grip of it, Nigel got a grip of it, and the club and the supporters all came together, and he had that great little run of results, and hopefully we can continue from what was a good spirited football club at the end of the season.